Prologue.
Hello everyone, this is Sansworst. This might be one of the final videos I would be making on the topic of Korea, but I promise you, like all the other videos I've created and the ones that I will create in the future, this comes from the heart. So I hope that you will watch it.
Epilogue.
Guilt. Not too much of it, but I still felt it. After I created the video on what it's like to live in Korea as an Indian, I felt guilt for tarnishing Korea's pristine reputation by sharing my experience with racism, for spreading hate in a way, when spreading hate was not my intention. Being real and sharing my story was. I see that it's super easy for me to focus on the negative stuff, the stuff that goes wrong, even when there's so much positivity and a lot to be grateful for. But today I feel moved, even inspired to share the good parts of living in Korea. And I'm not making this video because I feel obligated to do so. No one is paying me to say good stuff, even though they should.
Silently waiting for sponsorships to reach out to me.
Aesthetic and hip is how I would define Seoul. But not just Seoul, other big cities and the countryside have their charms too. There's this element of cuteness in living things, and inanimate objects in Korea. And I'd even include Japan in this.
They have so much cuteness
that I've never seen in India or any other Western country. I'd even call it beautiful, but in a trendy way. There's a lot of aesthetic cafes in every major part of the city. And anywhere you go, you'll always come across people who are dressed really well. People in Korea, men and women alike, value beauty a lot. They seem to value beauty as their top priority. They put in a lot of effort into looking their best when they go outside. In Korea, they kind of take it a bit further, borderline obsession with beauty and beautiful people. We already know the downsides of this obsession with beauty. The upside is that they're committed to making their environment aesthetically pleasing to look at and even healing to look at, which is not always true. But in general, yes. It's one of the things I've always loved about living here, and if I were to move to another country, it's also one of the things I would miss the most.
Safety.
Maybe I should have started with this one. The number one reason I love living in Korea and I'm hesitant to leave is that it feels so safe to live here, or at least much safer. So I don't want to take this safety for granted, even though I believe that it should be a right for everyone. I feel safe walking down the street at 3 a.m. I feel safe using the public transportation, even when it is crowded. Fear was my daily companion when I lived in Mumbai. Fear of strangers with bad intentions, fear of street dogs because I've been chased by them so many times. Fear of the traffic, the crowds, accidents, air pollution. I was living in such a fearful state. Not sure if I would even call it living. It was life as a prey animal who needed to be alert always. Because if something bad were to happen to me, in the end, I would be blamed for it, that I was not cautious enough. Living without that fear has allowed me to actually live. Undoubtedly, there are some areas of Seoul which are not safe. I personally would not consider it safe to hang out in places where people are drinking. Hongdae, Itaewon, Gangnam come to mind. Chances of something bad happening to you randomly is super low. It's usually someone that you know that would try to harm you. Or someone that you know, but not really well. A friend of a friend that you've known for less than a month. Most men, not just in Korea,
but everywhere in the world.
If they live with no integrity, that is why it's so important to be cautious even in a safe country like Korea, in a safe city like Seoul.
Convenience.
To me, it seems that the Korean authorities and corporations have cracked the code on how to make living really, really convenient. Access to food is convenient, with restaurants and cafes that also sell food every 2 blocks in most major cities in Korea. The tap water is drinkable. Traveling or commuting has been near perfected. The roads are beautiful and shiny. Buses and trains are always on time. Taxis are easily accessible through the apps. One can travel to any part of the country in less than 5 hours. Other things that are really convenient are shopping, delivery, internet, and streaming. Internet especially is insanely fast.
And available for free at cafes/restaurants.
And healthcare. Everyone living long-term in Korea has to sign up mandatorily for the national health insurance, and it might be a nuisance that a chunk of your paycheck goes to pay for that, but it is a lifesaver, literally. Having made the essentials of life so convenient is no small feat, for which I comment? commend the Korean people. This makes it possible for people to worry about the more complex stuff in life like happiness, relationships,
and how to survive the hyperinflation.
Honorable mentions. There's a lot of fun activities to do in Seoul. Here's a list. Rock climbing, hiking, playing games at a PC bang, or going to a board game cafe, skiing, ice skating, trying out new restaurants every day or new cafes every day because there's so many, visiting the palaces, amusement parks like Lotte World or Everland, gardens near every apartment building, festivals, art exhibitions, volunteering activities. The main part of the video is over, and now I just want to overshare about what is happening in my life so that I have a deeper connection with my audience.
Soms verse gata haircut.
20 centimeters or more of my hair
was cut off, just like that.
I had very damaged hair because of bleaching it 2 years ago. To get this hairstyle only got worse with time, to the point that I couldn't even brush my hair. Most of the damaged hair has been cut off, but now I look like Willy Wonka. My cats recently had a neutering surgery. Before getting my cats, I did like 1 month crash course by binging the educational channel Jackson Galaxy on YouTube, and I learned all kinds of stuff about what cats eat, the importance of play, and the big one was getting them neutered. For male cats, neutering solves their behavioral problems and stops them from fighting and marking the house. Even after the neutering surgery, I found Elysian humping my ikigai. I cannot get mad at Elysian. He's such a lovely little kitty. He's such a lovely cat. The word that I use the most every day is love, because I keep telling my cats that I love them. Okay, a bit more serious topic now. Words and the energy of words. The discrepancy between the words that we say and how we actually feel. So there are some people on the internet whom I admire a lot. I relate to them a lot. A select few people that I can hear them talk for hours and hours on end because I feel so intimately connected to them. And then there are some people whom I just don't feel connected to at all. Those would be the people that I know personally. Often I've noticed that both groups of people have similar ideologies. They could be saying the exact same words, but it's the energy behind the words that makes me feel like something is not right. Unfortunately, that is how I feel speaking to my family, and I'm pretty sure that's how they feel talking to me. We feel so disconnected. We cannot relate to each other. I'm definitely oversharing now. Recently, I had a fight with my sister, which happens all the time, but this time would be the last one because I'm consciously choosing not to engage with her anymore. It doesn't matter what the fight was about. The topics are different, but the reason it happens is always the same. She doesn't get me. She doesn't try to get me. I don't get her. I don't try to understand her. Everything that she says just feels wrong. It's weird because connection and feeling connected is one of my top values, because growing up, that is what I lacked the most. I wanted to leave them and run away from home even when I was a child and then as a teenager, but back then I was powerless to do so. I didn't have any resources to run away. Things are very different now. I live so far away independently. If I never want to see them again, I never have to, and that thought relaxes me. Connection is one of my highest values, but only because I didn't have that with my family. I was thinking about how I'm so similar yet different from my family members. Some traits are definitely genetic. I'm very similar to my father and mother in many ways, and yet a progression in many ways. The analogy of water and oil came up to my mind. Water and oil are both fluids and they follow the laws of fluid dynamics, but they don't mix well. They're immiscible. Something inherent internal to them. For oils, it would be the non-polarity of the oil molecules that doesn't allow them to mix with water. And I don't know if I'm water or oil in this analogy, but something inherent in me makes me repel from them. That's what I'm getting at. That's a very dark note to leave this video on. Fun facts about me. Out of the 3 JE subjects, chemistry, especially organic chem, was my favorite subject in high school, and if I hadn't chosen to major in computer science, I would be doing something related to chemistry right now. Not sure if I would be in the industry or academia. What do chemical engineering majors do after graduation? I know a person who has a PhD in chemistry, but now they're working as a software engineer. Okay, I think I'm ranting too much now. I will be posting a lot more. I always say that.